of CCTV. Now you are watching the first test event of the 2025 World Robots Sports Games. I am CMG reporter He Chao, and my name is Zhang Heyun. We are very pleased to present to these meaningful games. In the next 3 hours' time, there will be a miraculous journey. Why? As we said, this is the first of its kind in China. It's an AI sports game, and there will be limitless possibilities. We're going to witness this historical moment to see how are we going to welcome the winner of this game. In the next 3 hours' time, we will have 2 interpreters for us. One is a professor from Tsinghua University, Professor Zhao. Hello, I am Zhao Wenbo from Automation School of Tsinghua University. I'm very pleased to present to you this game, and there will be some new activities in this game. The other one is Zhao Weichen. Hello everyone, I am the Vice President of Beijing Acceleration Science and Technology Corporation, Zhao Weichen. I'm pleased to be here with you for this test event. Welcome. Now, we have less than 5 minutes before the beginning of these games, and during this time, we would love to learn about the rules of this game. Could you please give us some background information so that we would have some basic ideas about how to appreciate these games? It's a 3v3 AI game. That is to say, there will be 3 robots on the side and 1 backup. There will be no limit about the times of changing backups. But anyway, the total number of robots will be 4, 3 plus 1. And also, this is a whole process AI games, which means all of those sports players will control themselves, make their own decisions with no remote control of man. They make their own decision, and the duration of this game will be about 120 minutes. And if there is any foul, there will be a timeout. And also there will be a break of 5 minutes. To put it simply, in these games, the robots will make their own independent decisions like kicking and charging. There will be no remote control from man. And since we're approaching the game's time, interestingly, compared to the men's football games, those players are very composed, self-composed, because they are robots. And there are trainers from 4 universities. In addition, 1 person must be nervous in our showroom, Weichen. Why? Even though the 2 teams come from 4 universities, they're trained based on his corporation's algorithms for their training process. And finally, they are going to have such a contest. And also, all of the robots come from Weichen's company. How do you feel right now? I am surely nervous. This is the first time for us to support 4 teams of robots for such a 3v3 AI games, but I'm still confident. We've already helped the robot teams of Tsinghua University to compete before, so even though I'm a little bit nervous, I feel confident. Speaking of Tsinhua's Huoshan team, we have to mention Professor Zhao. Correct me if I'm wrong, 2 of the 4 teams today come from Tsinghua University, 1 come from the Agricultural University. Imagine that 2 teams came from Tsinghua University. What's your take about this game? We had some pre-tests to screen those robots players. In 2014, we've already attended some major contests, so we have accumulated much experience. But now we have a new challenge. And also this game is of higher level, with no manpower included. There will be some big challenges ahead. Besides, our partner, the corporation, also had a history of competition. Years ago, they have supported the winning of a world champion. Right because of these games, there are some new people joining us in order to support the two teams from Tsinghua. Exactly. We had some brief idea about the 4 teams and the game rules. The next 3 hours will witness 3 events, semi-final, and after semi-final, the winner of each team will have the final in the 3rd session. And now we are having a countdown of 10 seconds. So now let's watch the games on the site. It's a countdown time. After the countdown, the lights are on. Now the first Robot Football 3v3 AI games begin. This is the light show. There will be some short clips to introduce this game. All the seats are taken. A lot of spectators who are interested in robots are here, and also many kids are taking this opportunity to enjoy their weekend. With the curtains drawn, the robots appear on the stage. We are seeing 4 robots representing 4 teams. They are already on the stage. This is their premiere show. There are some international rules. And the making of the robots have to adhere to some standards. The presence of the 4 robots are already shown, and now we are about to begin the first match. Team 火神 will have a game against 光之队. And since the professors have already introduced, those 2 teams are very experienced, especially Team 火神. I remember that it has joined many international contests for 10 to 20 years. Yes, almost 20 years. In addition to Guangzhi and Huoshan teams, 2 other teams are there. Could you introduce something about them? The team from Agricultural University of China was guided by a professor who used to be my colleague. Another team was from Tsinghua University. The trainer of that team once attended some other contests before. So those teams have a very experienced coaches. Of course, the team players are new. I believe this game will be a mixture of tradition and new experience. We have to pay close attention to the robots. Speaking of those teams, we introduced about the robots of the 4 teams, all made by Weichen's Corporation. I did my homework before. Honestly speaking, if we use the terms of football matches, before those robots were included into the teams, there have been some underlying models. Correct me if I'm wrong. If for a robot to complete a football match, there must be 3 preconditions. The first one is sense. They have to be able to sense the environment. Second, recognition. They should know who are the team members, who are your opponents, what is the gate, and who should I attack, and what should I defend. And third, decision making. When should I run? When should I cooperate? When should I charge? So all of those 3 capabilities have to be prepared based on your models. Did you prepare them for the 3 capabilities? That's a very good question. The robots must be able to have decision-making and sensing and recognition capabilities, and also they need cooperation between different agents. That's why they have to fully consider the tactics of the other team in order to make a decision. Meanwhile, those robots are very lightweight and portable, and they can withdraw heavy blow. So we have to support the robots with different algorithms so that they could kick towards the gate and attack. So based on our algorithms, they can do a lot of movements. So senses and recognition are already nailed at a high level. As decision making, you already offered some underlying logic within certain time. If you don't have enough time for innovation, you need to only add something to the foundation. If you have enough time, you can have a complete breakthrough. Yes, it's an open source component. Many universities and research teams can do a lot of diversified addition of algorithms based on our underlying models. For example, tactic coordination, or 5v5, 11v11 games. There will be more possibilities for different teams based on what we offer. With so many possibilities and explorations, we are going to focus on this match today. We're looking forward to it. I'm starting to imagine what it's like. And especially, Mr. Hu, you have reported sports games for so many years, and for you to witness a football match played by robots, what do you expect the most? I'm pretty excited right now. It's just like 2 teams are coming from the same club, and now we have 4 teams representing different clubs, and every club offered the tactics to those robot teams, and they're different. As we said, some are newbies. but it's a football match. There are countless possibilities. There may be a winner. And we are looking forward to so many possibilities. And after all, this is the first 3v3 AI football match in China. Every team hopes to get the trophy. They seem to be calm. But actually, I can feel since yesterday that they are quite anxious. All of the spectators must be able to feel that anxiety. Aside from winning the game, Professor Zhao, as an expert, we are all paying attention to the champion. Who will have the first kick? And what do you expect from this game? A lot of random possibilities reside here. Actually, we are expecting such randomness. Speaking of the randomness, what does it mean specifically to this game? There are many special conditions with the different scenarios and circumstances can they adapt? Do they have team spirit? They might get anxious and they may make mistakes during the decision-making process. So we're really looking forward to how they make such random decisions. Okay, now we are about to begin the football match. We are seeing that two teams are entering. Quite similar to men's football game. Quite ceremonial. All the spectators are taking photos with their cell phones about this historical moment. Here they are, and this team comes from the University of Information Technology. The team is called Blade. The two teams are quite strong against each other. There are some situations on this side. One of the starting players from the team lie down on the grass. We are waiting for the start. Exactly. One of the players had such a situation, and the staff are taking him back, maybe for recommissioning. So everyone is waiting for all the players to be ready. Since the robot just tripped over, that was quite catching our eyes. Falling down is inevitable for the robots, for the four teams. And also there will be no human intervention to protect them. In real games, they can climb up independently after falling down. Something went wrong before the start of the official game. And there will be the last round of commissioning of the robots. When the game starts, we are truly expecting to see if the game will go on smoothly. And we are looking forward to seeing whether the robots can climb up by themselves once they fall. We are seeing the coaches and the team members from the rocket team of Tsinghua University. The members are quite anxious because something went wrong just then.
目前看到，好的，双方的队员已经入场完毕，我们等待主裁判的上升。
Both teams have entered on the lawn.
好的，随着主裁判的一声哨声，国内
With the
首
whistle
个机器人足球3v3 AI
by
赛
the
的比赛
referee,
正式开始。
the 3v3
这场比赛是
AI contest is officially begun, and the Huoshen team from Tsinghua University is against the Blaze team.
目前比赛双方是在中场激烈的交锋，可以看到所有
Now
的队
they are
员都在
competing against each
还
other
是有一些身体
in the
碰撞的
midfield.
另外，我们也可以
There
看到，
might
在
be
机器人
some
的眼里，
contact
目前的足球世界
of
是
the
什么样子的
robots.？
他们可以
We
识
are
别
seeing
足球，识
what
别
the
队友
robots are
以及对
seeing.
手，并且要识别球网。
they have to recognize the ball and their team players.
取得了进球。
That's the first kick.
在比赛刚刚开始阶段，青蛙火
First
箭队取得了一个非常美妙的开局。
by Tsinghua team
第一次进攻便取得了进球，虽然在
with the
开赛之
first
前，青蛙火
charge.
箭队出现一点小小的状况，但是这
They
并不影
made a
响
goal,
他
even
们在
though
开赛之后率先取得进球。现在
something went
裁
wrong
判员
before
将
the
球
game
放置中
started,
场。
but now they had the upper hand with the first goal.
好的，北京信息科技大学的光世队来开球。
Now let's wait
我
for
们看到一个比较
Blaze
有意思的
team
现象，就是
to serve the ball.
光世队的2名队员呢是重叠在一起，这其实
Something is interesting.
和
The
他
two
们的一
teams
些
seem
AI 的
to
算法
be
策略可能重叠是有一定的关系。
crashing against each
能不能给我
other.
们讲一讲关于他们这些 AI 算法的策略是怎样运作的？
Could you please introduce to us about the strategy for the AI algorithms?
就在我们介绍的过程中，青蛙火箭队是迅速
During this time,
取得了第2名。
Huoshen team had the second goal.
比赛开场不久，我们的老牌强队青蛙火箭队就迅速的取得了一个2-0的领
Very
先。
quickly, Tsinghua robotics team, Huoshen team,
机器人是同时跌倒了，
had 2 goals, and just now 2 robots fell
预
together.
测的那样，自主的站立就实现了。
But they independently stood up.
另外可以看到，刚才有一名队员受伤之后呢，是担架进入场地。这和我们看到了人类的足球比赛是非常相似的。
Doctors are entering the field,
拿着担架将受伤的运动员抬下场。
quite similar to real games, with the
但这个
stretchers
时候
on.
比赛要继续进行。目前
Now the game
北
has
京
to
信息科技
continue.
大学的光世队是少一名队员作战的。
Team Blaze has lost 1 player.
现在的光池队可以说是有点雪上加霜啊。所以比赛看到
It's
这儿，
really bad
我们
news
可以
for
大胆
Blaze.
地预测一下比分。我想先听听教
I
授的
think
意见。
we can take this time to forecast the result.
赵教授，您觉得这场的
Professor
上
Zhang.
半场的比分会
In the
出
first
现
half of this
2位数
match,
还是个位数的一个情况
what？do you think will be the score?
又落袋了。
3 goal. Third goal is kicked. If the Blaze team lost 1 more player, they're gonna lose the upper hand, and that's more conducive for the other team.
短暂的这
If
个
the
伤病
Blaze
队员进
teams
行调
could
整之后，
recover,
现在又重新回到了
maybe there will
场
be
上
some
看来
changes
本
by
来
turn
他
of
们的配
events.
合好像已经发生了微妙的变化，已经不再是前后重叠的积极进攻了。
I can see that they have different positions from before while they attack.
青蛙火箭队断掉，现在青蛙火箭队再一
They're
次
not very
拉起进攻。
close to each other while they attack. Tsinghua Huoshen team is charging now.
看 看有没有补射的机会。
Now it hit the pole. The ball hits the pole. The robots are right in front of the gate. And again, Tsinghua team had another goal. And the score is 4-0. That's truly detrimental to the Blaze.
通过一个镜头，机器人头部的特写的画面当中，也可以看到我们的机器人队伍也是伤痕累累，可以说这也是。
Just now, with our close-up, we can find that the robots seem to be scarred because they attack each other quite closely. And the first half has about 5 minutes left. What's your take about the performance of those robots? They clash against each other quite frequently, especially in the beginning. Several robots attacked each other. So the robots must have very strong capability of counter-interference. We have accumulated years of experience in terms of the materials and the components. According to our knowledge, every robot has contained about 23 freedom points. Yes, especially in the joints, like ankles and your hands. Those 23 points can help the robots to have steady moves and gestures. So those degrees of freedom can support the robots. Now the score is 5-0. And the first half is still not ended yet. We could hear the shouts from the spectators cheering up Team Blaze. But now, in general, the Blaze is truly lagging behind. Let's see if there is going to be a turn of events before the end of the first half. In front of the gate. Right before the ball was kicked into the gate, it shot outward. And now, Team Blaze could have a corner kick. While Blaze team was searching for the ball, precision was lost and he tripped again. As we said, there is no human interference to protect them. That's to say, while they fall, they have to stand up by themselves. It's quite difficult for the robots. Something interesting happens. Blaze is taking the initiative. All the 3 players are in the front. They joined this attack. Usually, the defender will stand in the half court. But now, Team Blaze is under huge pressure, so they have readjusted their decision. That's quite aggressive. And Team Portion is taking this opportunity to have another goal. And now the score is 6-0. The medics have carried their stretcher again on the court because something is wrong with the team players again. For your information, The whistle blow by the referee is actually the signal for the players. Before the whistle blows, they were incapable, but when the whistle blows, they will be activated to be at the state of attack. The ball was intercepted. There were 3 players from Team Huoshen to defend the ball. The Blaze players are defending themselves. Now the ball is still at the second court of Team Blaze. Very loud shouts. Team Blaze had 1 goal. We just saw how the Blaze player stood up. The last 20 seconds are left for the first half of this match. Let's see if there will be any change of the situation. One player from Blaze team fell, and the game is still on. The first half will come to an end very soon. Let's see if Team Blaze can complete this attack. Another player fell, and the game is still on. Team Blaze had another goal. And now the score result is 6-2. And the referee stopped this game because another player had something wrong and the stretcher has taken him away. Now we have 44 seconds left. With 2 goals by Blaze team, there are more possibilities for this game. We are seeing whether there will be a tie or even a turn of events for the first half in the last 40 seconds. 6-2 is the current result, and there are big opportunities left in the second half. Their decision-making algorithm made the Team Blaze more aggressive. There had been some long shots and good teamwork, so that's why the result rebounded for Team Blaze. We're truly looking forward to their performance. Those are the replays of the first half. The first several goals were made by Huoshen team. They were leading the way, but under huge pressure, Team Blaze made a different decision and made 2 goals. And now the result is 6-2. Tsinghua team is still leading. Actually, just a half game, lasting 10 minutes, but it was a fierce competition. Quite a fantastic game in the first half. Staff from the 2 teams are getting excited after every goal. The staff members sitting in the seats got quite thrilled. The cheerleaders are on, and that means the end of the first half. Professor Zhao, could you comment on the first half? Quite as I expected. The Team Blaze made some readjustment. Now my colleague is ready on the court, so now let's give the mic to Junchi. Possibly he could have an opportunity to interview the team members. Let's see what he observed. Good evening, everyone. I am the CNT reporter, Huang Junchi. I am now on the venue of the game. This is the timeout, the break. We have invited the team leader of Huoshen team. Could you please introduce yourself? Hello, everyone. I am a graduate student from Automation School of Tsinghua University and also the team leader of Huoshen team. At about 1 minute time, the score was 2-0. Tsinghua team was in the lead. Why could you have such a good strength? As to kicking and shooting, we have readjusted our parameters. So before kicking, they could get very close to the ball very quickly. And you could find that we are quite speedy. So we had the upper hand. If we had the ball, we can of course kick and shoot or defend. At the last minute, Team Blaze had 2 goals. And does that mean there are some loopholes in your defend strategy? In the beginning, we were ready to defend, but the direction was wrong. That means when we are keeping the gate, the direction measurement was not very precise. It's about a balance between speed and accuracy. With the accuracy ratio declining, we still need to improve in the future. What's going to be your tactic in the second half? For example, attack or defense? There will be no big change in our strategy. We hope to have a steady performance. In order to get a good result, we have to ensure that every move has been trained. We hope to get the premium result. So there will be no special readjustment as long as they can execute the previous strategies. That would be good enough. What do you think is the difference of this game compared to the previous contests? This court is quite big with quite a lot of spectators. We've never competed before in front of so many spectators, so the effect is quite good, and we hope to show our real strength. Could you please introduce to us about the composition of your players? I'm really curious. What are the talents behind this game? Our team is made of graduate students. We came from the School of Automation with the joining of some other schools. We major in the system of automation. So we had some knowledge to develop those robots in order for them to complete their games. The robots had to shoot. How did you make that happen? Did you adhere to the bionics? Yes. They have to cooperate with each other. They have to pass the ball to the other robot, and then the other robot will be responsible for kicking. And that's about teamwork. Thank you for your time. I see that the second half is about to begin. Please come back to your seats and get ready for the second half. Now, the second half is begun. Now the result is 6-1. Team 1 of Huoshen had absolute edge in March this year. Huoshen team from Tsinghua University won a championship in an international event. So I think it's quite promising for Huoshen team to have another win today. The robots are on the court. Blaze players are quite fast. One defender from Blaze is standing there. Quite similar to the men football players. They're stomping their feet to warm themselves up. Now 火神 team charge first, and Team Blaze are defending their ball. The defenders finally come to the court, and just then, two players clash against each other. They tripped, and this robot quickly had a turn of its body, and the referee stopped the game. The stretchers are coming to carry away the two robots. Quite like the men's games. When the football players fell sick, the stretchers would carry them down. This is exactly the same. I think they're gonna serve the ball again in the midcourt. The match may take longer time for the robots. The robots are required to quickly stand up after falling. Sometimes they can, but sometimes it takes longer. Another goal was happening. They have to come back to the midfield, and the team 火神 is like dominating this game. The vests were quite cool. They are wearing the vests in order for us to tell the difference from two different games. I once communicated with the team staff asking whether the vests would impede the movements of the robots. He said no, there will only be some influence over the heat dissipation of the robots. If you paid attention, you would realize that all the referees are wearing black shoes because the robots had visual recognition capability. If I'm wearing the white trainers on the court, I may be recognized as a football, and the robots might kick your foot because they mistake it as a football. Now Team 火神 is about to kick the sideline shot. As I said, this is the difference from a men's football match. It's more complicated now. Especially for the sideline off-court ball. The referee has to position the ball before kicking. And here it begins. Although Tsinghua team is in the lead, the robots are tireless. Now they have the opportunity. Let's see if Team 火神 can complete this kick. He missed this opportunity. Team Blaze, standing at the sideline, saved this ball. Team 火神 attacked again. Now Team Blaze kicked. It's a counter-attack, and they had a goal. So one more goal for Team Blaze, and there is a difference of 4 goals between the two teams. Let's see if Team Blaze will readjust their strategy. This is the midfield restart of the game. Team 火神 had a backup player now, standing on the sideline, ready to enter the court. Quite a regret. While the Blaze player was approaching the ball, he tripped. And order is kept. Team Blaze attacked again. He successfully passed 2 defenders. Another robot injured was carried down. The game is on. The whistle was blown by the referee. Team Huoshen is taking the initiative, but regretfully, he tripped again. For so many robots, kicking the ball on the court is quite complicated because we have to rely on more than just one robot. Instead, they need coordination. Another backup has to step up very quickly. Now the referee blows the whistle and the Team Huoshen took the ball, but they were very far from the ball. Now they trip again, and 2 team players from Blaze fell, and they are quite flexible. Team Huoshen very quickly stood up. That's a strong signal of their capabilities. They were able to stand up by themselves once they fall on the court. Just imagine if the robots keep on falling and the game was stopped frequently. That's truly bad experience for the spectators. Quite close. Team Huoshen failed. Let's see if they can have a final shot. All the robots are against each other. They gathered together. Now, the ball is out. We're halfway in the second half of the game. Now we have about 10 seconds left, and the score difference is still 4. Based on the performance of Team Blaze in the second half, let's continue to pay attention. And let's go back to the showroom to see their comments.
当然，秦淮火人队也是进了一进球，目前比分的分差呢仍然是
Now
4比
the
进球。
score difference is 4.
刚才在现场呢，我们也是听到大家在讨论啊，就是现在我们看到所有机器人的脚部都是黑色的，而且赛场所有的
All the robots
裁
had
判员有可能进入
black
场地里的工作人员都穿黑色的鞋子。在昨天我在进行赛前最后一
As
天探营的时
the
候，
staff
工作人员也是
members.
告诉我，一定要穿一个黑色的鞋子进入比赛场地。
Yesterday I was told
教
to
授
wear black shoes. Why was that, Professor? Because the robots had to recognize the white lines on the court and the white football. So if you wear white, there will be some interference to the game.
另外还要跟大家说一个规则，就是说3v3的比赛是没有越
Another
位的，跟
rule
我
is
们
for
大家熟悉的11人制大场的比赛不一样
game.
没有越位的
It's
限
different
制，
from
但
10
是
to 10.
每一名进攻的队员不能够在对方
There
的
is
禁区
no
内停留
offside
超过
limit.
5秒。如果一旦在对方的
But
禁区
the
内超过
team
5秒的
players
话，比赛
cannot
将会吹停比赛，
stay for
并且
over
让
5
对手
seconds
在
next to
以
the
方半场的这
opponents.
个
Otherwise, the
禁区内
game
罚
will
进
be
球。
stopped.
现在现场又出现了激烈的碰撞之后呢，应该是出现了受
Very
伤的情
fierce
况。
clash took place. Someone was injured.
可 可以看出比赛是非常激烈的，虽然比分落后，但是光师队还是非常希
Quite
望能
fierce
够
competition.
利用最后的时
Team
间能够
plays
扳平比分，没有放弃。
truly wants to turn this event.
随着
They
一名
didn't
火神队
give up.
的队员被暂时抬下了哦，现在留在现场上的画面当中好像只有一名火神队的队员。那
Now
是不
there
是
is
就意
only
味着
one
整个
player
的
from
胜利
Team
的天平
Huoshen
已经在
remaining
向
on the
温州
court.
队倾斜
Does
了
that mean that Team Blaze is about to have a
多
turn
了
of
一方可能
events?
是火神队，因为下半场交换场地之后，火神队
In the second half, Team Huoshen
是在发起进攻。刚才看到
attacked.
人数稍占优势，机器人足球的比赛就是有这样不可控制
They
性，
lost
因为
some
很有可
members.
能会少打一人作战。好，比赛继续进行，目前火神队
The
是
game
发起
is
进
still
攻，
on.
可以看到
Team
场上
Huoshen
应该是
charges.
只有一名光师队队员在进行防守。
One
这是比
Blaze
赛规则
player
的一部
defending the
分。虽然
ball.
没有换人的次数的限制，但是当你的队
Even though
员
we
出
have no
现状
limit
况
of the
下
times of
场
changing
进行维
backups,
修和治疗
but
的时候，比赛依然继续进行。目前期望火神队
during the change,
把
the
球
game
带到
has to
了
continue.
对方的球门前，但是刚刚足球是滑门而过。
They're in front of the gate, but the
目
ball
前比
just
分依然是7 比
glide
3，
away.
清华火神队领先。
And the result is 7-3. Team
足球一直是在光师队的
Huoshen
门前
is
徘
in the
徊。
lead. They're in front of the gate of
目
Team
前所有的队
Blaze.
员都集中在了一起，发生了很多。
And all the
身体的碰撞。
players are
可以看到目前
together.
有
There
2 名
are a
队
lot
员
of
是倒地了。
clashes.
裁判员进入场地，防止有
The
更多的队员
referee
受伤，
enters the court
而且也是
to
吹停
avoid
了比赛。
any more harm.
担架员再次入场。另外，我们可以看
The
到机器人的
stretchers are
头部其实
here
在比赛过程
again.
中一直在转动的，是不是它一直在捕捉这个
The
足球的运
robots
行的轨迹？
turning their heads during this game because they are tracing the ball to had a clear
看
position.
到现在，我一直有一个疑问，这个问题想问给韦晨。
I'm quite curious
发
about
现
one thing.
好像如果从我们的感性认知上去看的话，那火神队的
Subjectively
队员
speaking,
他的体格好像更为强壮，而
Team
光之队
Huoshen seems
相
bigger
较
in
而言
size.
会显得有
And
些的
relatively
脆弱，好
speaking,
像他们
Team
的倒地次数会
Blaze
更多。
seems quite
这是为什么？
fragile. They seem to fall more frequently. Why was that? Because we had some customization in their bodies. Some robots are good at speed, some are steadier. So it also has something to do with the strategy of the two teams. Are they more aggressive or defensive? As Wei Chen said, speed and agility or steadiness matter.
比赛来说的话，那么毫无疑问，目前进行到现在，优势方
Right now,
毫无疑问是火神队。
目前留给
Team Huoshen seems to have an upper
光
hand.
师队的时间不多了，他们需要在最后的时间
Blaze has
尽快的发起进
not
攻，只有
enough
这样
time
才有
now.
可
They
能在
have
最后的
to
时间扳平比
attack
分
very
赢下这个
quickly
分
in
差。
order to have a tie. After all, now the difference is quite big.
在最后的2分钟之内连进了2个球，所以我觉得他下半场也应该采取一些比较。
In the first half, Team Blaze had two goals in the last 1 minute. I think they should be more aggressive right now in order to have more opportunities because they're already lagging behind.
是完全的 AI 策略，目前在场上要做出
Since it's AI independent decision
机器
making,
人足球运动员就跟人类足球运动员一
the
样，
robots
在场
had
上
to make their
他
own
们自己做出
decision just
所
like
有的
men.
应对和判断。没有任何
They
的
have
工
to
作人员
respond
在
by
场上进行
themselves.
遥控场上所有的情况，
No one is
都
having
要
a
他们
remote
自己进
control.
行决断。
刚才光之队
They have to make their own decision.
然后可惜的就是
They just pass the ball. But regretfully, they use too much strength.
一次射门机会。
Otherwise, it's going to be a winning call for Team
在
Blaze.
目前现有的我们的这种不论是算力也好，包括我们的所实现的这些技能也好，目前我们至少场上队
Whether it's the computing power or the skills,
人对人
the robots are capable of passing the ball from point to
这些
point.
其实都是要在后期，在整个运控和感知算法上面会有更多的一些迭代。
In the later stage, there will be some iteration about the computing power
给各个参赛者一些
algorithms.
指导。
With open source, we will guide the players to some degree. As we can see, the robots are not pushing the ball while they kick and pass. For the first International Humanoid Robots football match later on in August, there will be more skills used in passing the ball. There are some special penalty kick rules at the lower left and lower right corner of this court. In the penalty kick, we will have some opportunity to see the skills of the players. Possibly they might be able to push the ball. For the individual robots, these robots might have a better performance compared to now. But now there are some speed limits. They cannot kick very strongly. Wei Chen, I'm wondering that the robots are able to stand up by themselves after they fall. Usually they have to use their arms to support themselves. And are there different algorithms to support their way of standing up? Yes, we have our algorithms designed in an open source way. Different teams can start from the open source algorithm to simulate, to make their own moves. We mentioned about several moves to support themselves up. Different teams differ. They have different shooting methods or methods and movements of standing up. It depends on the individual teams. The game continues. Not much time left. And the game is 8-3. Let's wait for any change of event. Not enough strength. Now they're in front of the gate to see if they can have another chance. Huoshen team had a final shot. And the result is now 9-3.
刚才因为已经计时结束了，但是现在又补时的1分钟。
There is an additional 1 minute for the show.
队员受伤离场，要把这个时间加回来。
因为这次的比赛上下半场的净比赛时长是各10分钟，但是呢，场上会出现很多的意外
The
情况。
duration of the game is about 10 minutes, but there are many casual situations during the game. So while the game ends, there will be some additional time.
标识队能不能够在补时阶段扳回比分呢？
So let's see if Team
现场呢
Blaze
目前是出
could
现
have
了一个小小的
good
状况，就
performance.
是光识队队员呢，可能就是像刚才我们所说的，识别到了一个白色的物体，所以
during the injuring
向场
time.
边走了过去。好的，目前
实际上呢，虽然说比赛距离第一场的结束，那么实际上距离第一场的比赛结束，应该说还有40多秒的时间。当然了
We have 40 seconds left for the first session.
结束的时候出现了一些意外的情况。那么实际上
And some accidents happened right before the
这
end.
场比赛是否就这样结束，还是再要回来把这剩下不到50秒的时间走完？但是我相信基本
Should
上大
the
局已定。
keep the running of the last 50 seconds or not, I think the result is quite clear.
显要更胜一筹的，目前是大比分的领先。
Now Team Huoshen is still in the
做一
lead.
个简单的评价，你认为这样一个分差是不是
Professor, could you comment
真实的协调？
on this game now? Do you think this result represents their real
但是
strength?
总体来讲
Like I said, there are many uncertainties.
他可能运气稍微差了一点，因为几个横传球，以我的经验都是
Team Blaze is unlucky today.
但是由于现场的一些原因啊，他可能力度稍微大了，就
there might be some factors during the games. They may use too much strength, and it takes a teamwork. When they pass the ball, once the ball was kicked out of a cluster of robots, it's a good opportunity for the individual robot, but for several times, at least 4 times, team players used too much strength. So the ball was kicked out of bounds. So they were truly unlucky. I think if they can do some readjustments, they will have more opportunities in the future. It doesn't depend on the technology level of the teams. There are many uncertainties during the game. We were told that this is the official end of the first session, so we have now congratulating Huoshen team, and also our reporter is ready by the court. Let's see if he can interview the 2 teams. Now, Junshi, please. Good to see you again. I am Junshi. Now the result of the first session is 9-3, and during this break time we have called the 2 team leaders to interview them. First of all, the team leader from Huoshen team, we just interviewed him already. How are you feeling right now? Pretty excited. But we must get ready for the next session. Yes. I know there will be 20 minutes for the final. In addition to the first session, there is another session for the robots to compete for such a long time. The algorithms, the bodies of the robots must be improved. First of all, we have to improve the reliability of the hardware. We have to ensure their steady and continuous operation. And secondly, algorithm matters. After a long time of working, we have to control the heat of the motor so that in the remaining game they can have a steady performance. After all, with such an intense game, steadiness matters. And will the robots usually keep their strength during the first session in order to pave the way for the second session? We have our own strategy to ensure that the motor can run with low heat. We have to strike a balance. We hope the robots to be speedy, but for the motors they may be overheated. I think you need to use your killer capability in the final. And what is the role of the algorithm in the final? Will it improve your algorithms? Of course, we will readjust our parameters based on the problems we observed. For example, we were not decisive enough while we attack in front of the gate, or if we kicked sideways. Now we will readjust the parameters in order to improve such performance. Thank you. Hello? So you're the team leader of Blaze. Could you introduce yourself? I'm Wei Fangde from Team Blaze. Even though you lost the game, during the game, you had 3 goals. What do you think is the highlight of your team? Attack, defense, or teamwork? We defended pretty well, but we lagged behind in terms of attack. We lost many good opportunities of kicking the ball. As to gates, you were overwhelmed by Team Huoshen. Why was that? We made some errors in the beginning, and the robots lost their steadiness. So now you lost the game. Will you iterate the algorithms after the competition, and how. Since we realized our loopholes in attack, we will do some homework to improve, like the gates. And also, teamwork must be improved. They should be passing the ball instead of kicking by themselves. Thank you for this time. For us to better understand the AI contest, we have invited Professor Zhang, the observer. Hello, Mr. Zhang. Hello, everyone. Good evening. I'm from the organizing committee. I am the deputy director of Department of Technology and Logistics. There are many good highlights during these games. We saw the gates of the robots quite similar to man. So what methods were taken in order to complete such movements? That benefits from the hardware development in China. 1 year ago, actually, there are 20 years of history for the robotic football match. The limit was about 40 centimeters, but now we can do 1.2 meters for the robots' height. The higher the robots are, that means the bearing capacity of the joints will be increased greatly. They are quite similar to real men. That's why the match looks quite genuine. 3 months ago, we had a match in Germany. Team Huoshen was there, representing China. And in the final, the result was 9-0. So our team had justified their strengths internationally. Yes, they are so close to real men. That's what I feel. After 3 months' time, have they been improved further? The spectators are quite excited. That means they can truly understand this match. But 1 year before, after the end of the game, many spectators were at a loss. They didn't understand it. But now the spectators are saying that it's really like a men's football match. We have to imitate man's performance. It takes like millions of training for the robots to look like man. We are more familiar with the robots, and the robots are more familiar with their tasks. Thank you. If you have any questions, please feel free to comment. Next time, we will refer your questions to the observers next time. Now let's come back to the game. Now let's see what's the comments of the showroom about the first session.
好，时间回到演播室。那么在第2场比赛即将进行之前，我们先简单来回顾一下第1场。实际上，就像之前预测的哈，第1场比分是
As we forecasted,
也就是说，这个看来是赵教授对整个的机器人足球比赛还是异常的了解哈。那么
Professor Zhao is quite right, making the forecast. In the first session, we had 2 strong teams. And the result is not exactly as we expected. The 2 teams made different decisions. One was speedy. It's quite aggressive. and the other team, Team Huoshen, had steady performance. And based on what we observed in the first session, the steady team won. And in the second session, there will be two other teams. What will be their strategies and performances like? Before the start of the second game, I have a question to Professor Zhao. In E-Town, there was a semi-marathon by robots. Not long ago, in Hangzhou, there was another robotic game held. Now it's the football match played by robots. With so many games played by robots, what does it mean? If it's the marathon, that means there is a full showcase of the sports capabilities. For the first two games you mentioned, the moves are quite complicated, but still there was some remote control. So from the level of sports, the robots proved themselves to be very strong, but not as to decision-making. But now we can see that the robots are quite intelligent by using the visual sense and positioning capabilities to support their decision-making today. In the future, the football match will showcase their teamwork capability. So it's a real demonstration of their intelligence. From remote control to no man interference and independent decision-making, the robots are evolving quickly. Wei Chen, why do you think that the robots should be part of such competitive sports games? For the future scenario development of robots, what's the role of such competitions? For the competitive sports games, it's a good training base for the robots. As to hardware and software of the robots, they're iterating quite fast. But now, usually, the videos are not real-time to showcase their capabilities. Through such real-time contests and competitive sports, the corporations can demonstrate their technological levels. It's a very good scenario for using the games to represent training. As Professor Zhao just said, it's a good opportunity to show our hardware capabilities as well as the sensing and movements and decision-making capabilities. Such underlying capabilities can be generalized in our lives and in production. For example, when we recognize something, or they move and navigate independently, or capture some things. For example, the goalkeeper may capture the ball, and some football players, they might have to run or kick the ball, and such movements can be generalized in the industry and in our lives. After all, the football match is a teamwork sports game, so coordination matters, and coordination is a very good capability for the daily scenarios. So we think that such a competitive game is a very good scenario for us to further develop the technologies. As we're talking, the second session begins. The two teams are entering the court. Now back to the venue. The second session begins. Just like real football match, there are three children accompanying the players. These are the three starting players on the court. As you see, the player is waving arms to the spectators. This team is Team Shanghai from Agriculture University, and the other team is also from Tsinghua University. The game is about to begin. Now they are getting ready, lining up by the court. The moment they enter the court, they have to depend on themselves.
如果您是刚刚开始看我们直播的话，我需要跟大家介绍一下，就是我们目前看到的机器人
If you just
3AI 赛的最大的
watched
亮
our
点就是
game, allow me to introduce to you that the biggest highlight today is that during this game, all of the players have to independently play the game with no man interference. Another point is if the robots clash and trip, they have to stand up independently. There will be no man to help them. Only the referee can enter this court, and when the accidents happen, if the referee allows, the medics can carry the stretchers to enter the court.
其实我们从第一场的比赛过程中呢，也看到了，我们一直在强调的是本场比赛是
During the first session,
完全的一个 AI 自主决策。
we have proved that there is no remote control by man.
这个非常亮点的一个做法就是取消了。
That's the biggest highlight.
那么可能
And also, no man will protect them.
会好奇哈，虽然说是
Our spectators might be curious.
人类保护员，但是为什么在禁区的时候，
With no man to protect them,
一些比较焦灼的集体踢脚的时候，还是会出
when the robots trip,
情况呢？实际上我要解释一下，一方面我们
why the medics
我们的进攻方
enter the court? That seems like human interference.
上的一个时间，所以说这个时候如果一旦出现
That's because the rule is like the robots cannot stay close to the opponents by over 5 seconds. So when the robots fall, they cannot stand up by themselves because many robots fall together. If that is the case, the referee will stop the game.
比赛目前已经开始，是由
Here the game is
上海
on.
边线球。
Shanghai serve the sideline ball.
所有的队员的头部都在转动，他们通过自己的视觉系
The
统
robots
来
are
去
turning their heads because they have their visual system to search for the ball,
如何完成进攻。
and they have to search for the opponents in order to defend.
裁判员是将球放在
The referee positioned the ball at the
应
sideline.
该是由清华大学的 Power 智能队
Tsinghua team is defending,
中国农业大学的山海队即将
and
把这场球
Shanghai
完成这次的进
team
攻。
is gonna kick the sideline ball.
接了足球的
3 defenders
前的
intercepted this ball, and the team Shanghai
踢空了。
had
这个我们想知道，在这个
missed the ball.
足球运行的过程中，是不是对于机器人足球运动员来说，判断这个足球的运
For
动
the
轨迹
football
也是一个比较难
robot
的事情。
players,
在目前
tracking
难去判
the
断
football might be very difficult.
所以一定是要等球停下来
While the
之后
ball
这个机器
is
人
running, they cannot position it. They have to wait for the ball to stop.
一个很好的机会，但因为球在动，
And Agricultural University just had a very good opportunity then, but since the ball was moving and running, so they cannot take the ball.
比赛继续进行。
The game continues.
中国农业大学的战术跟我们刚才看过第一场是不一样啊。
Shanghai team's tactic is different from the first session.
充当人类的守门员的一个角色，这是不是也是每支球队的战略战术也有所不同？
One team member stays in front of the gate. He's like the gatekeeper.
他的战略是3个队员都冲在前面，形成一个比较大的防守面。
So 3 players are charging in the front,
农大
taking a large area.
在后面。我们特别
And for the Agricultural University, they leave 1 player behind to keep the gate. Let's wait to see if the goalkeeper can have a good performance afterwards.
另外，围晨，我想问一下，是不是每支球队他在对每一个在场上的机器人运动员进行这个 AI 算法策略更新的时候都有所不同？没错。
是的，就是每一个
Is
球
every
员他是
team
自
having a
主的
different
这个决策算法
strategy?
和阵型之间的
Yes.
配合。就比如说你
Every
当你
player has
采取一个
different
集中性的一个阵
individual
型的时候，你
algorithms.
可能每一个
For
队员他
example,
对于
when
自己
they
区
stay
域
very
负责的
close
这
to
个
each
区域
other,
以及他在
the
这个区域
individual
里面如果
robot
球出
must
现
have
要做什么
specific
样的一
area
个
to
决
be
策什么样的动作
responsible
他都
for,
是可以
and
做不一
their
样的一个
moves
决策
and
树去做
decisions
一个
can
整
be
体的规划
customized
所以可以看到这现在
individually.
两个队的这个策略还是非常不一
There
样
is
的，
such a
包括这个
decision
阵型的保
tree.
持。
So you could see that the 2 teams are completely different.
3v3的比赛呢，双方在
In 3v3 games, The teams are different. Shanghai team is like 102 in the shape of the team. One member is not responsible for charging. They're just in front of the gate, but the ball hit the pole of the gate, so they missed that chance. Now, one member from Tsinghua University fell and got injured. Like we said, if the robot couldn't stand up by themselves, our staff have to enter the court to carry him away. So, how can we judge if the robot is able to stand up by themselves? After they fall, they should attempt to stand up, so they keep moving. Sometimes they fail to stand up. If the robots stop moving, maybe because of the motor, then we have to step in to restart the engine. We need to maintain the robot out of the courts. For example, the current may be too strong, stopping the robot from standing up. Every team has 4 players, 3 are the starting players, and 1 is the backup. If the robot is injured, they will carry it out and maintained, and then they can come back. So during the time while they are maintained, there are different numbers of players between the two teams. Now we have 7 minutes and 20 seconds left, but no team had a goal because they put too much energy on defense. As to defense, obviously the Tsinghua Power team goes all out to attack and defend, and Shanghai team comes to the midfield, and when they kicked the sideline ball and corner ball. So I can see the difference. Even though the robots could not pass the ball from corner to corner, but if they kick the sideline ball, first of all, the strategy is, while the opponents blocked your way of kicking, you have to firstly kick the ball to the field first, and then the other player might catch the ball and had such a shot. Team Shanghai got the ball. Number 3 player is always keeping the gate. From the start of the game, he never appeared. He's truly leisurely. Shanghai team counterattacked. Let's see if the ball can be kicked to the gate. Very close to the gate now. Now the second player trying to step up to head another kick. Okay, Team Shanghai had a goal. Now the situation changed. Shanghai team is in the lead. That's the disadvantage of Tsinhua's strategy. Because they used a total football strategy. anything might happen, even though
而且刚才我
when
们
the
看
ball
到在
is
第
in
一次
front of the
形成
gate.
机会的时候，上海队2次没有把握住机会，而且2名队员完成射门的动作
Shanghai
是非
team
常
missed
相
their
似的
chance for
是不是这有跟他们
twice,
的 AI
and
算
the
法
two
策略比
teams
较
seem
接
to
近有关
have
系？
quite similar moves. Does that mean that the two teams adopted similar algorithms?
办法可以很可能两个同一个位置场同一个决策。
好的，比赛继续进行，清华大学跑火智能队
Now the game continues,
发起进攻。
and the Tsinghua Power
刚
Team
刚我们看到上海队
charged
是
the
做出
ball.
一个换人的调整，在领先之后呢，他们的
Shanghai
4队
team
员都上
changed
下
their
了
players.
不知道
Number
他
4
们的
player
阵型
showed.
是不是还是依然和领先之前一样？
Will they
是
had
1-2 的
similar
阵型？我们随着比赛
arrangement?
的进行，关注好的
1-0-2.
上海队的队员倒地了，另外一
One
名队员
Shanghai
也
player
是要
fell,
倒地，
another one
才
fell
会结束
too,
比赛
and the referee stopped
队
the
员进
game.
场用担架
Medics entered, and the stretcher carried the injured player off the
我想
court.
问一下韦晨，就是一般在
魏
碰撞的
晨
过程中，什么样的情
While
况
the
下有
robots
可能会
clash
导致
against
机器
each
人的
other,
倒地，
under
而且
what
不能
situations
自主地爬起？
will the robots fall and couldn't stand up? Our algorithms are capable of anti-interference. If you are on the side, every clash is quite strong. Usually they are quite steady, but from some angle, the clash might be extraordinary. For example, clash from the side. So there will be some random fall. Under such circumstances, the algorithms cannot support them to stand up.
随着比赛的进行呢，我们也是发现，虽然运动员经常会有碰撞、受伤、倒地乃至离场进行治疗的情况，但是
Even though the players
双方的队员
fell
基本上都能
frequently
保证全员参赛的
and
状
even
态
leave the
是不是也是
games,
可以
basically
证明每
they
一
have
个
full
技能
members
运动员
included
前
in
的
the
这个
game.
硬件设施
Does
还是
that
比较
mean
完善的，他们
that
的
the hardware is well developed?
相比较于过去有
For
一些问
example,
题啊
kicking. There is a big improvement compared to before. We have tested a large number of robots in different stages, from motor to joints. All of the parts have been tested, and we have supported the Tsinghua team and other teams to attend different international competitions. We keep trying the combinations of different parts and different materials. And then we come up with these lightweight and durable robots.
另外还有一点，我其实特别想知道，就是在这个规则里有没有
Another
对于
point
每
to
名参赛
make
运动员的身高、体重以及其他的一
is
些
about the weight and height
涉及到
of the
比赛的
robots.
内容的情况，有一些设计的规范呢？
Do you have any rules about the heights and weights? For the large-sized robots, they must be above 1 meter high, possibly from 1 meter to 1.8 meters. There are two categories of robots. One is more standardized. We hope to use standardized robots to compete. An enterprise will be responsible for the making.
公平性就会好一些。但另外，未来发展呢，很可能
In the future,
增加很多自研的这个比赛内容，这样就会更丰富。
there might be some self-developed
上
contents.
半场的比赛时间不多了，目前比分呢仍旧是
Not
1
much
比
time
0
is
和
left
上
for
场
the
比
first
赛
half,
不太
and
一样。
the
这场比
result
赛的
is
上
1
半
to
场
0.
双方的
That's the difference
进
from
球
the
数
first
就已经
session,
接
because in the
加
first
起来就接
session,
近2位数
during
了
the
但是
first
这
half,
场比赛呢
the
双
two
方在
teams
防守
kicked
端都
over
是做出
10
了
balls,
很多的努力。
and 10 goals were made.
其实比赛进行到现在，跟第一场最大的区别就是悬念。
Up until now, the biggest difference of the second session from the first one is that we are still not sure about the result of this session. There is no clue,
对麦芒算是对上的。
and they're quite close.
我们看到上海队的那名门将，这一次是走出了禁区，他们的战略战术非常的明确，就是有一名队员专心致力于防守，而另外2名队员在中场和前场发起进攻。经常我们会
The
发现，就是有几
4
名
players
队员是来到了
are kicking the ball from the sideline. Sometimes the players are quite close to the ball and then they clash against each other.
来说，他还是没有太好的传接球的配合以及这种。
It seems like the players lag behind in terms of passing on the ball and coordinating with each other. With the further improvement in the future, I believe that there will be more smooth movements in the future. We have less than 2 minutes time for the first half. Shanghai team kicked the sideline ball, and let's wait and see if there is going to be any change. The sideline shot was made by Shanghai team, and again the ball was kicked sideways, and it was quite competitive. And compared to the first session, the second session doesn't seem to be that competitive or smooth, because both teams are more defensive. All the judgments are made by the robots. Just now, Shanghai team had a long shot, but he missed the gate. Is it possible that the robots will feel anxious? Still, it depends on the strategy.
如果采用远射，因为有很多球进不就场地的不同的，这样进球的概率会变低。所以好的策略应该是在。
其实看到现在啊，我发现我们整个机器人队员，
I sensed
不管是带球还是所谓的
that whether it's taking the ball or kicking the ball, there is one feature about the robots. Basically, firstly, through their cameras, they track the ball and recognize the ball, and then they run close to the ball, and then they take a detour to have a front kick. And they carry away the ball just like men. In the first session, one player kicked the ball from the side, but more robots are carrying the ball from the front. They have to make very tough decisions. Under the scenario of the current technological situation, and to ensure the smoothness of this game, did you have to strike a balance? Yes. We are more sure about the result if they carry the ball from the front. The camera can view the entire court 360 degrees, but we are still more certain about kicking the ball from the front using the tip of their foot. Some team made their decision by using the heels to kick the ball. So it totally depends on the decision of the individual team. Decision is one thing. If, in most cases, they kick from the front of their foot, since their foot is more curved in the front, what is the reason for the design? We don't have very stringent requirements for the design. They can have different shapes in their feet. So curve might bring us some possibilities. While we talk, the first half ended, and the result right now is 1-0. In the second half, there will be more opportunities. Who will be the winner of this session? We still cannot decide the result. Mr. Zhao, You have done a lot of interpretation for the football matches. For example, decision making and computing power. Based on what we saw until now, what's your biggest feeling about this match? Every team takes a different strategy. For all teams, their sports capabilities are above the average, and they customized based on their own features, and their decisions are different. For the two teams in the second match, their strategies are more simplified. They have to wait for the robots to stand right in the front of the ball before kicking. And I don't recommend long shots in order to ensure precision. So I think they should get more opportunities of kicking the ball first. In the first match, there were more opportunities when they passed the ball to the other players. So I think for the second match, the two teams must have more diversity in their strategies. There is no player to step up to catch the ball if the first player missed. My next question is to Wei Chen. In the near future, will there be a decision change? For example, when one team enters and the opponents come to the midfield, will that first team kick the ball very lightly, just like passing the ball? If they do such a move, for the players, usually, how long does it take for the algorithms to complete the calculation? During the decision making, they are not aiming the gate while they kick. Instead, they aim at their player, their team members, before kicking. So it's easier. In the future, when the team has to make a decision of passing the ball, we need to have more iteration. The AI brains have to take more time to acquire data before making real-time decisions. During this time, we saw that when the emergencies happen, the robots may have different moves. Some are using small steps, some are making big strides. Some have to stay from a far distance. Does that mean that at the bottom layer of the models, there will be some threshold? For example, what is the limitation of your performance during this game? If it's out of the limits, there might be some errors in the algorithms. That's why different teams have special features. And that means the robots have different capabilities. And what can they do out of the courts? You can imagine them as your cell phones and computers. The cell phones are equipped with some basic apps, and they have boundless opportunities depending on the third-party developers. And those teams have some basic technologies in the robots, and on top of that, more added technologies make it possible for sensing and kicking. So they add a lot of hardware individually. In the future industrial scenarios, based on the platform's sensing and decision-making algorithms, there are more scenarios allowed in the homes. More developers are invited. With their creativeness, there will be more opportunities of using such technologies at home. We analyzed the technologies just now. And now, my question goes to He Yu. We're halfway in the game. Which one is more challenging for interpreting the games, the robots games or man's games? Of course, the robots games. One thing about the man's games is that when the ball is in front of the gate, they need to just have a kick for us to have a result. But for the robots, there are uncertainties. I'm really looking forward to the second half of the game. Right now, we didn't see any own goal, but it's possible later on. And also, I'm really looking forward to penalty kicks. We also look forward to seeing more good performance about keeping the gate, especially from a quite challenging angle. Dear viewers, I think you are truly looking forward to what remains in the game. No matter how competitive this game is, it benefits from technologies. One word confused me for long, especially with AI entering into our lives. The models of the robots are end-to-end. Could you please introduce about the concept end-to-end? To put it simply, end-to-end is about from sense to actions. Those are the two ends. With one algorithm, we can turn the senses to actions, with no logic structure in between. That's about end-to-end. It's used in many AI fields like autonomous driving. Now the second half of the game begins.
好的，下半场比赛已经开始，我们看看在下半场比赛呢，清华大学未来实验室的炮火制腾队能不能够去扳平比分。相信在刚才中场休息的时候呢，双方在交换球场的时候，所有的教练组肯定会进行一些战略部署的调整。我们看看下半场。I
believe the coaches had some readjustments during the break just now. Now let's look at their positions and strategies.
在之前呢，赛前一天呢，我也是跟这些。
One day before the game, I communicated with the organizing committee, and I found that when one is attacking and the other is defending, they have to trace the football, and during the game's time, what's the difference of their defensive strategies? Based on the situation on the court, they have to have a prediction in order to take a more favorable position. But what position is more favorable? It depends on the algorithm. The robots don't have much time to have more diverse strategies. Actually, the robots cannot hear the whistle. But with the game control equipment, they can communicate with that wireless network. They can control the ball and take positions. I think in August we have to give more time to the robots. In the 2 months' time, we must do a lot of improvements. This is after all the first test event. We still have 2 months' time.
在这次总决赛开始之前呢，也是进行了多场的练习赛。
Before the final, we had a lot of
结束之后
training
呢，各个
sessions.
球队肯定会想通过真实的比赛来总结一些
I
经
think
验
the
和问
teams
题。
hope
那
to
么在您看
accumulate
来，
their
各支球队可以
experience
通
by
过真实的比赛能够
participating in the
总结
real
哪些方面的
contests.
问题，从而提高每个
What
战队的战斗
problems
力。
can they encounter during such real-time competitions? There is only one champion in the game. So for the teams, they have to find their loopholes during the games.
根据自己的情况来找到自己的问题，所以这个时候呢，
They have to find their own problems
和尤其策略的丰富程度，因为在场地任何一个
and enrich their strategies.
这个时候呢，要求队员根据比赛的这些情况的理解并积极进行比赛，是这样。
So the players must fully understand the games.
好的，下半场开场不久呢，清华大学未来实验室的 Power
Right
智能
after
队
the
是迅速
second
扳
half
平了比分，
begins,
现在
Power
两
team
队处在一个同一个起跑
catches
线。
up.
而就在中国农业大学上海队开出中场球的时候，就完成了得
Team
分，
Shanghai had
迅
another
速
goal.
把比分再次取得了领先，目前比分是
Quickly
2-1。
Shanghai
是不是
team
刚
is in
才
the
这
lead,
个时候
2-1.
扳平比分的 Power 智能队有一点松懈了，他们的站位是不是有一点
Team
问
Power
题，导
was
致农
slacking.
业大学上海队的
I
发球队
think
员
there
可以
was
直接完
something
成比
wrong
分。
with their positions, so Team Shanghai could directly had a goal so quickly.
所以又是一个精彩球。
在扳平比分之后呢，Power 智能队可能有一些松懈，在思想上我们说人力
I
球员
think
的时候，在场上会出现这种情
Power
况，
team slacked.
在对方开球和自己己方开球的过程中都出现了一些问题。通过2次
And
远
it
射，
happens
农业大学的
during
上海队
men's
是将
games with 2
比
long
分的领先
shots.
优势扩大到
Team
2球，
Shanghai
目前的比分来到了3-1。
has an edge. Now the result is 3-1.
形成这种踢球传球以后，比赛就不那么焦灼，大家开就好。
而且其实看到现在啊，我有一个问题想问围城，因为我发现，
I have a
在
question
整
to
个
Wei
双方
Chen.
对垒的过程当中，其实把球
While the two
踢
teams are competing
对
against
方
each
球
other,
对方球员的视线盲区是一个非常
kicking the ball out
因为他们
into the
球
blind
的速
spots
度
of your
还没有人类
opponents.
那么
That's
快
quite
因为像
smart
摆动是
because
需要
the
时间的
robots cannot
那么
capture
从
the
而我就有一个疑
ball
问，在规则上
very
是否
quickly. It takes time
我
for
在
them
整
to
个面
trace.
按一圈
So,
360度的上
do
来
we
去捕捉
allow
整个的现场
a 360 degrees of camera to capture such information on the court?
我们现在成熟的比赛规则是沿用的是 RoboCup 的比赛规则，机器人世界杯的这个规则，这个要求。
Now we adhere to the World Cup rules. We imitate men's performance. Even if you can take a turn for 360 degrees.
实际上这就更考验了我们整个的一个底层模
That's
型，它
quite a
全
test
身
of
运
the
动的这么一个
underlying
肢体
model.
协调配合以
They
及
must
自
be able
决
to
策能力的一个快
control
速反
their
应
whole
的这么一
body
个表
and
现
have
能力。
quick response while making a decision.
智能，所以在敌人提出
We hope to imitate man's intelligence.
还是要
No LiDAR sensors are allowed. We have to strictly
这个从比赛的效果来说，
sense the environment according to the rules.
一定把这个问题解决掉，我们的最终智能水平更高。
那么其实比赛进行到现在，我特别想问一下维泰，哎，进球了。
Another goal was made.
刚才险些出现我们期待的乌龙球。刚才这个进球的发生呢，其实是农业大学山海队的一个脚后跟的磕球，将球磕到了自
Just
己
now,
的球门
own
前。
goal
随后
almost
呢
happened.
，Power 智能队的队
The
员
ball
迅
was
速的
just
拍马
in
赶到，
front of
把球
him,
打入了球门
and。
所以目前
the
比分来到
player
了3-2，
quickly kicked
双
the
方只有
ball
1球
to
的
the
差距了。
gate, and
比赛的
now
时间
their
还有，如果
result
在
is
最后的
3-2.
时间内 Power 智能队能够再扳1球的话，可能比赛
Let's
将
wait
会来
and
到
see if
我
a
们期
power
待的
team
点球
can
大
had
战。
another goal. If he had another goal, there will be a penalty
现
kick.
场去采访一下，他们下半场是不是两个队都更换了策略？
We can interview the two teams to see if the two teams have changed their strategy in the second half of the game.
阵容的布置还是没有变化的，仍旧是由1米
Shanghai team has the similar
停留在门前，但是在刚才呢，
arrangement
可能
of
正
the
是他参与了一
positions.
次进攻之后，一个不小心的后脚跟磕球，反而差点形成了乌龙球，给了对手一个
An own goal almost happened
将近
because
扳平比分
the
的机会。
player
现在
kicked the ball from the heel.
足球的出了边线，想发边线球。
Now the ball is at the outline, so an
身穿绿色球
outline
衣的
kick
农业
is
大学
going
的
to
上海队
happen.
始终是2名球员。
Team Shanghai wearing green have
有一
two
名球员
players
在门前。
throughout
我们
this
看到
game.
Power 智能队不只是一次出现这种情况了，就是3名队员去同时完成
The three
同一个
players from
动作，
Power
这是不是就跟他们的
are trying to
AI
do the
策略
same
有设计关系？
Maybe that's relevant to their AI strategy. They have the same strategy.
后面一定有些人首先改掉的是一个队员就要会分工，配合。
也就是说，3名队员没有形成分工，刚才一脚远射。
So the three players didn't have a division of responsibilities. Another opportunity was missed, but we still have time. Let's see. Power team
我
can
们看到球
catch
在
up.
出了底线之后呢，和人类的足球的比赛一样，仍旧是
Just like
在
men's
积极
football
前
match,
发出门线球，但是我们看到Power 智能队的队员一直是在阻碍对
they're
方发出
ready
这
to
次
have a goal line
门线
ball.
球。现在 Power 智能队的3名队员是全部来到了
Three
前场。
players of Power team came to the same field.
双方的争抢非常的激烈，都在争夺控球权。这个时
Two
候，
teams are
农业大学的
competing
这名门
quite
将
fiercely.
是一脚解围，将警报解除。
The alarm is taken down.
如果踢球越好，可能对Power智能队越有利，因为他球一旦在场上移动，3个球员或者球员节奏不均等，这球就动起来，这3个队员就可能产生不同的角色了。但是如果球不动起来，3个队员角色一样，一定是3个人到球对面去加入。所以这个情况呢，能大踢得越好，反倒对清华这边越有利。
好，也就是说，在运动战
Actually,
的过程
the
中
better
智能队
Team
是有
Shanghai
优势的，
is
因为3名队员一直是在
kicking,
同一项指
the
令
more
基本上是
edge
3名球
Team
员
Power
同时
will
来
have, because the three players
3个机器人，但是球如果不动，
had same moves
3个分身。
coming to the front of the ball.
目前足球仍旧是在农业大学上海队的门前。刚才Power智能队又完成了一次射门，但是是滑门而过。
Power team had a kick, but he missed the gate.
魏晨，其实我们也特别想知道，就是你们将这个我们认为就是青训球员培养到什么程度才可以交付给各个球队？
Usually, to what degree you have to train the robots before you deliver the robots to teams. The robots are usually at the height of 1.2 meters. In the future, we are going to launch a 90 centimeters high of robots. Our goal was to use different types of hardware, allowing different developers to develop different decision-making algorithms. While we deliver the robots, we are going to take several hours of tests so that the robots don't fall with just several steps forward. Many robots now in the market are unsteady. They fall frequently while walking. In a football match, it's a quite complicated match and scenario, so we have to take a long time of QC, quality control, before delivering the robots to the teams. Since this is the first 3v3 football AI match, it's a test event for the August game. Since it's a test event, we hope to expose the problems as many as possible. Up until now, the 4 teams will be involved in the August games. Meanwhile, robots from the corporation will join the games later on. After the end of this test event, the exposed problems will be improved in the future before August Games. Wei Chen, from the perspective of your company, what are you going to do to optimize the robots? Our strategy was to establish an end-to-end whole-body movement model. The robots must be enabled to move, and then they are trained to make an active decision. It's just like children growing up. So standing up is the first thing. And after this test, we are going to do our homework carefully in the supply chain. We are going to do a lot of optimization as to the parts, so as to make the robots lighter and steadier, so that different developers can use simple methods to use their programs and simulation technologies. Another goal was made. Very excellent kick by Team Shanghai. They encircled the opponents. With that kick, we can find that Team Shanghai had more trials of their strategies. The ball may bounce after hitting their bodies. That's actually a good opportunity to capture, and not much time is left. Team Power is taking the initiative, and just now, a member from Team Shanghai almost fell. Number 4 player from Team Shanghai passed the ball to his member, to number 2 player, and now number 2 member is trying to pass it back to number 4 player. He kicked by himself, but he missed the gate, and the game continues. The two sides are competing fiercely. We are coming close to the end. Team Power has to quickly attack in the remaining time. Team Shanghai has a very crystal clear strategy. They try to block the way. They protect the ball first, and then they attack. Team Shanghai is excellent in blocking the opponents, and when the opportunity comes, they kick. They had a second kick, but the ball was blocked. Back to us. Congratulations to Team Shanghai in the second match, and the final will be played by Team Shanghai and the Huoshen team. We still have some time before the final. Based on the performance of the first 2 matches, the robots were made by the same corporation, but the 4 teams had different strategies. They showed different capabilities with stark difference. They have their own strengths and weaknesses. Of course, we need AI decision-making capabilities at the bottom layer, but on top of that, different teams added different algorithms, so they presented different performances.
胜负上是产生了一定的
leading to different
误差和
results.
效果的。那么针对现在这样的一种局面来看的话，我们想来大胆
From
地
what
预
we
测
saw
一下。
right now,
那么之前
should we make
火神
some
队可以说是
prediction
稳
about
健
the
的
result?
一支队伍。
Team 火神 was
上海
very
队呢
stable,
可以说
and
相
the
对
Team
来说
Shanghai,
也是比较稳健。
relatively
他们采用的
speaking,
稳健的
was
不一样
quite
因为
stable
呢，
as
火神队
well,
可以
but
说他们
different
在
from
整个的一个
Team 火神.
模式上是更加的稳
Their
健。
movement
小步快跑，哎，
model
我找到一
seems
个
to be
标
stable,
准的位置，
with
我找
very
到一
quick
个
small
更加合
steps
理
to
的方
find
式
a
我去采取一个
position,
进攻。
and
而
with
上
a
海队呢是
reasonable
在阵
strategy
型
they
上
kick.
更加的稳定，
And the Team
更加的稳健。
Shanghai
那么采
had
取了
a
一个
very stable
的一个阵容，而且
position taken by the players. 1-0-2 was their strategy. But while they attacked, they were also very aggressive.
我们先来做个预
So
测。
now
呃
we can do
来
our
预测
forecast.
今天你觉得谁夺冠的可能性会更
Who
大
do you think will be the
我认
champion
为
today?
从前2场比赛来看，肯定是现场来
Based
说
on the
表
first
现
two
最出色
matches,
的球队进入了
I
最终
think the
的
most
决赛。所以
excellent
说，待会儿的
teams
决赛肯定
would
是一
enter
个
the
强强的
final,
碰撞，我们也非常
but
期待。
it's
从
going to
这
be
两场
more
比赛
fierce in the
看来
final
呢，我们
game.
4支球队都有自己的比赛
I
风
think
格
the four
首
teams
先，新
have
火人队
their
绝对是
own
一个老牌
features.
的强队。
Huoshen team
豪门的
is
球队
very
比赛
strong,
经验非常的丰富，
very
个人的
old-fashioned,
技战术的能
with
力也
rich
是非常强的。
experience
他们
and
在比赛
strong
开始呢，就
tactics.
牢牢地把握住
Since the
这个比赛的
beginning,
节奏，
they were in
早
the
早地取得
lead
比分
and
的
they
领先。
took the rhythm.
光士队呢，虽然是一名新军，
And
但是他们在场
even
上表
though
现也是非常出色的。他们是一个
Guang
黑马的姿态
Blaze was
面
new.
对强者，完全是
In front of
比
the
分落后
strong
的时候也是去放手一搏，
veteran,
争取追求
they went all
这样
out
的
to
决
win
赛。而在刚
opportunities.
才的这场比赛中
So
呢，
they
我
were
觉得
close
这
to
个
each
上海
other.
队更像是一个
And
纪律严
Team
明的铁
Shanghai
军，纪律非常的严明，一直
was
在严
like
格的
an
贯彻赛前的技战
iron
术的部
team
署。
with
永远
very
有球员
stringent
在
rules.
前
They
把守球
strictly
员，而且他们
conformed
的
to
对
their
抗
strategy,
也
with
相对
one
比较好
player
的。
staying
虽然比赛呢没有那么流畅，但是他
in
们
front of the
还是
gate.
通过
Although
一
the
些
game
大力的
was
远
not
射
so
完成了
smooth
比分的领先。
and
而
exciting,
最后的这个
they
炮
still
车队虽
were
然输
in
掉
the
比赛，
lead,
他们
and the
的
Team
技术
Power
风格给我
lost
们
the
留下非
game,
常深刻
but
的印象。
their
一支
special
全攻全守的
characteristics
状态，
impressed
3
us.
名队员同时采用同一个战略，永远是一起
Three
进攻，
players
一起
took
防
the
守。
same strategy. They
总体
attacked
看来呢，这
together
场
and
比赛给
defended
我的感觉
together.
就是说，比赛的观赏性相比较于练习赛还
I
是更加好看了，
thought
因为
that
球队
this
对于
game
比
is
赛的
truly
胜负
exciting.
更强了。所以在每一
The
次
teams
球队的
seem
争
to be
夺
quite
以及攻防
eager
转
to
换
win.
的时候，都是拿出了他们的最佳的状态。期待
They
稍后
give
进
it
行
all
的这场
out
最
in
终
order
的
to win.
决赛，看看谁能够问鼎
I'm
这样
truly
一个具有
expecting the
历史
final
意义的足球
to
AI
see
赛的冠军奖杯。
which one will be the
说了半天
champion
何玉还是给我们
at
打了
this
个太极
historical
挂了个关
moment.
子没关系，当然我们静待这一见证历史的
So let's
时刻
wait
马
and
上就
see
要到来了。当然现
for
在
the
还有一点时
historical
间，我
moment.
们先听听参加完下半场第2场比赛的2支队伍，他
We
们有
still
什么
have
想
some
说的。我
time
们先
before
把
the
时间
final.
交给我
Let's
场边的
listen
同
to
事康
the
俊驰。俊驰，
two
时间交
teams
给
from
你
the second match. 俊池。
央视新闻的网友们，大家好，我是总台记者康俊驰。
Good evening, everyone. I am Jun Chi, the CMG reporter. With the end of the second match, we had the list of the final teams. Before the final begins, I have invited the two team leaders from the second match. Team Shanghai. First of all, please introduce yourself. Hello, everyone. I am the coach of Team Shanghai Hu Biao. Hello, everyone. I am the coach Gong Jiangle for Team Power.
中场的时候接受采访说是我们下半场会进行这个进攻，对吧？偏重于进攻。那我看
I was told that during the break, you decided to change your strategy to take the initiative. And what adjustments have you made in order to acquire several goals in the second half? In the first half, we were quite aggressive. The ball stayed in the front field. There were many threatening kicks, but they missed because of wrong directions, and then we did some readjustments. So, in the second half, you saw the difference. Several kicks were successful, very straightforward. That was surprising. We had full preparation. ahead of time, but there were so many accidents during the games, out of our expectation. Since the AI has to make independent decisions and we didn't have much time to do the readjustments within half an hour, we can only do minor changes. So why was so many kicks done with long shots? Was that your strength? Not in the beginning. In the beginning, we decided to have very strong kicks. They keep the gate, so there might be a wall of defense, or they might need to defend with relay, but they didn't have a very good position, so we could take long kick. You're about to have the final match. What's your take about the strategy of Team Huoshen, your opponent in the final, and what adjustments will it make? Team Huoshen was quite efficient. We will improve our weaknesses. We have to maintain the robots. We still have a chance to win this game. Thank you. Now let's ask our coach from a power team. I once talked with your members before the game about the level of your capabilities. He was quite humble. He said that we aimed to defend, but still in the second half you had 2 goals. Did you do some readjustments during the break of the 2 halves? Yes. Robots played very hard. We changed the strategy. Most importantly, we had a cooperative defense strategy, so they can defend on a larger area. And then we can have more attacking opportunities, but since we had limited time of readjustments during the break, and also our products were just commissioned for 3 months. We were a new team, and we were still learning from the Shanghai team. In the future contests, we will put our learnings into our strategies, and we will perform better. That's the significance about holding such Robo League. We can learn from each other. In addition to the goals, what are your strengths as to defense? In the first half, Team Shanghai couldn't have the lead. We combine both defense and attack. We didn't attack much, but our defense strategy was quite successful. We had the same strategy for defense and attack. As long as one of the 3 players can kick successfully, that's fine. We just don't want to miss the ball, lose the ball. And we want to block the opponents. We call it bulldozer strategy. Although you lost the game, you used only 3 players. In the future, you will do some improvements of your algorithms. And what are they? There are many improvements to be done. We are more good at the bottom layer. For example, movements, actions, functions will be improved. And then we are quicker at seeing those balls. We will have higher precision in the future. Thank you.
在采访完2位队长之后，我们也是请来了继续请到我们那个赛事组委会的这个观察员。
Again, we have invited the observer from the organizing committee, Mr. Zhang, to give his comments.
那我刚刚看到这个2场比赛也是特别的一个激烈。那我很想问您的一点，
That was quite a fierce competition. My question is for the Robo League. What's the difference of it compared to the traditional football matches? And there are 3 players of robots. It's a small area on the court for 6 robots to compete together. What are the challenges?
大家好，我呢来介绍一下，今天我们看到的这个足球呢，我们叫3v3机器人足球赛。
Today the match is called 3v3 football match. Previously we had a 2v2 football match. Those were unseen among the man players. The smallest size for football matches played by man was 5v5. Today many robots crash against each other. Possibly the team players in one team might gather together. That's the problem about the algorithms. We had a 2v2 game before, and now it's 3v3, so they might take the same positions. But I'm convinced that if we can have 100 more matches, the robots can successfully learn how to pass the ball. Since the final begins, now let's come back to the showroom to focus on this final. Let's wait and see who is going to be the champion.
好，时间回到演播室，那么距离最终的决赛呢还有一点的时间，让我们来提前做一个大胆的预测哈。因为我们都知道，实际上这个火神队呢，
It's the final time.
将近20年的这种同类型比赛的这种参赛经验。当然了，参加到我们这次的3v3。
There are 20 years of experience of similar games, but for 3v3 AI game, it's the first of its kind in China. For such veteran teams to come to a new game, they must be courageous. We never imagined during this time. I thought maybe the final players will be from both teams in Tsinghua, and Shanghai team was unexpected. What will be the situation? Let's not forecast the final result. As to the score result, do you think the scores will be about single digits or double digits? I think the Tsinghua team will take gradual strategy, and Team Shanghai is very good at defense. When the ball is about to be kicked, they will certainly take the ball and kick very strongly. Those two teams have completely different strategies, so it's very difficult to forecast. If Team Shanghai has the first goal, the situation will be better. The two teams will be very close against each other. Now, Wei Chen, could you answer the same question? The two teams' robots were made by your company, and they have completely different strategies and styles. Which one do you prefer?
队的那个阵型102的阵型还是非常值得大家去参考的，或者值得未来的参赛者去参考的，因为整个足球它其实是一个团队运动，那不同的阵型它带来的一个多样性，其实是能够某种意义上弥补它在参赛经验上的这个不足。因为历史的在各种足球机器人足球赛事当中的20年经验，所以它在整个运控的算法、它的感知算法上面，也许会积累更多更成熟的一些数据。 more data.
I'm really looking forward to the formation of Team Shanghai. Like you said, Team Shanghai has a very stable formation, 102 formation. And Team Huoshen doesn't have a very stable formation. It's quite flexible.
不好说是不是
So it's difficult to
老
say
军就能战胜新兵，
if
也
the
有可能
veteran
是新
can
兵
win
的这
over
种表现
the
的
newbies.
更加出其不
Possibly
意的做法，会给
The newcomers
老
might
军带来很大的
have
困难和挑
unexpected
战。
performance, and such unexpected performance might be a confusion to the
过
veterans.
这场的整个机器人的一种在竞技赛场的一种多种动作模式的一种表现。那么也聊到说，未来
Based on the movements of the robots, in the future, you might need
对，
to
其实
imitate
大家可
more
以想
man
象，在人在踢足
movements.
球的时候是有非常多的一些动作，包括这个我
When
们说
the
铲球，
football
包
players
括
are
我们说的
playing,
这
there
个
are
这个
so
顶
many
球头
movements.
球，对吧？包括
For
我们说的
example,
这个倒钩，
using
那
their
其实所有
heads.
的这些动作，这种拟人化的这种射门动作也好，带球
All
动作
of
也好，
those
它
kicking
本质上都是
movements
通过
or
模仿学
carry
习，加上
movements
强化学习，然后
must
再
be
通过学习
imitated by
人
the
的这个
robots.
射门的动作或人的一些铲球的动作，在仿真的环境里面去完成强化学习，
In a
然后让
simulation
机器人在它
environment,
的
we
脚
must
上或者在
reinforce
手
their
上或者在身
learning.
体上去实现不一样的运动表现。所以其实，
So
在
the
目前我们
robots
看到，在
can
过去1年里面，我们已经
carry
发
the
现有
ball
的队，包括刚才其实
with
在山海队也有展现这
different
种大力
body
的射门
parts.
其实这个其实在我们人类的
And strong
这个不管是
kicks
正脚背的抽射还是
was
外脚
seen
背的
by
这
the
个抽射，
robots.
其实它里面是有很多的一些学问在这个里面的。所以
And
我们也很期待
if
说
the
未来
man
能够有
kicks the
更多
ball
的
strongly,
这
there
个
are still
大
a
学也
lot
好，
of
更多的这个球
learnings
队能够基于
to
我
be
们的硬
done.
件本体，把这
We
些能力
hope
让
that
机器人
in
能够
the
学会。
future the teams
那么如
could
果说
train
再
the
局限一点，问的
robots
具体一些，因为我们
in
都知道
that
我
way.
们的机器人是具备32个自由度的。就目前这款机器人来
As
说，
we know, there are
只要
32 degrees of
算法给它
freedom
做
for
了一
the
个叠加，你
robots.
觉得它还能做出什么样的动作？
With the addition of
我觉得在目
algorithms,
前
what
这个情况
others
之下
can
呢，
be
它精
done
准的
by
射
the
门
robots?
是没有问题的。就包括说
Precise
像刚刚赵教授有提到这个推
shooting
射，
is no
包括
problem,
传球，
like
包括
pushing
停
the
球，
ball,
其实这些事
passing
情
the
都是
ball,
相对
stopping
会
the
比较容
ball.
易去实现的。
Those are
如果要实
relatively
现
easy
更
to
多的，比如像
achieve.
跳跃、投
If
球
they want to
或者
achieve
说
more
铲
like
球这些动
jumping
作，那这个可能我们在
or
未来在
kicking
硬
with
件，
their
包括我们在
heads
运控算法上面，从我们公司从平台的角度上面来讲，也会给大家更多的支
or
持。
slight tackling, we need more support in our
时间也
development.
是临近整个的决赛越来越近了啊。那么就在我们等待的这时刻，实际上我们还是想再问，之前呢，从这个我们的半马到了我们的这个拳
From
击
a
赛，
semi-marathon
机器人拳
to
击赛，
boxing
再到
game
了现在我们的机器人足球
to
赛，之前赵教授
today's
已经说了。
Robo
我们的
League
机器人
football
半马
match.
是首次实现了我们
Semi-marathon was the first time that multiple types of robots compete
实跑的这么一个
together.
场地上，迎来的一个挑战，也是顺利的、完满的完成了。那
It
么
was
在整个
quite a
的一个
complete
机器人
success.
拳击赛的一个过程当中，是实现了一
For
个
the boxing game,
做的这么一个配合的一个
many
路线
complicated
那么到
movements
这次
were
是
completed.
整个 AI 决策自主运算的这么一个过程
Today, it's
那么
about
实际上
AI
这次
decision making.
区别于前2次的赛事是更大的一次进步，因为它没有人为的过多的干预了，甚至是完全
It's a
取消了一
big
个人为的
step forward,
完全
with
由
no
机器人
man
自主
intervention,
决策
with no
您觉得
remote
再到
control.
下一步还会产
In
生
the
什么
future,
样的叠加和进化？
What iteration or improvement will be done?
实际2个重要的点，一个是对本体的高性安全性的要求，另一个是对性能的要求。
Safety requirements will be higher.
是在不同维度上去展现的这个内容。
The 3 matches you just mentioned were in different dimensions. Marathon pays attention to running. Boxing was about continuous movements. Next year, the robots will have stronger sensing capabilities during the marathon running. But the requirements of sensing in the marathon game is different from the football match. Marathon can have a forecast. They are running in the lane. But it's different in the football match. There are so many uncertainties with 6 players on the court. So, in the football match, we have higher request of intelligence and decision making. Teamwork must be stronger in order to accomplish this combat.
非常我们看到，如果是一个队员解围出来以后，另一个队员能够跟进的话，
After in the football match, there are more players on the court.
非常非常
Of course, it doesn't mean that football matches don't require speed.
好的，那么说话间，我们的决赛已经开始了。
Okay, now here is the final. Let's come back to the court.
好的，决赛已经正式开始，对阵双方是来自清华大学的火神队以及中国农业大学的山海队，两支球队在刚刚的半决赛中是分别战胜了对手，来到了决赛，
Those two teams were the winners in the semifinals. Now they are competing for the final championship. The players wearing purple were the veterans representing Team Huoshen, and those wearing green are the newcomers
火神对山海。
from Shanghai team.
刚才看到比赛是暂停了，刚才山海队的一名队员
The game was stopped temporarily because one player fell. So Team Shanghai lost one player. Huoshen team completed the sideline ball. Now Huoshen team carries the ball to the gate. Let's see if the team can complete the kick. Team Shanghai blocked the ball. Two team players are defenders, quite anxious.
双方的攻防非常热闹，但是刚刚受伤上场的山海队的这名队员
Team
把球
Shanghai
踢进了自己的
has
大门。
kicked the ball to their own
但是
gate,
是不是球还没有完全的过线？没有完全过线。
and the ball is not out of the line
这个时候
completely.
火神队的队员完成了一脚补
So
射，目前比分来
Team
到了1比0
Huoshen。
刚
had
才
a
那名队员受伤下场之
So
后
the
上场
result is 1-0.
判断是不是出现一定的问题，教授？
So there must be some errors in their judgment just now.
才刚这个进球呢，恰好这个风格比较符合我，他不会采取很激烈的动作，要慢慢保持出平衡度。所以这个时候
The movements were very slow.
旁边挤过来，所以正好这个机会在这个情况下没有。
刚才是险些出现了我们之前猜测的乌龙球。刚才呢，山海队是一名球员下场，接受治疗。上场之后的第一个动作就是把球
An
踢
own
向
goal
了
almost took
自己的
place
球门。好，看
because Team Shanghai kicked the ball to their own gate. Team Shanghai quickly kicked the ball.
清华火神的队员脚后跟着磕球，险些自摆乌龙，球是撞击到了门框上变线。双方的争夺非常的
The
激
ball
烈，在门前
was
出现了碰撞倒地
out
的
of
情
the
况。
gate.
比赛
The players clashed against each other and fell. Now both teams have lost members. Two stretches were carried on.
我们两次看到差一点点出现乌龙球的情况。
We almost saw the own goals for twice.
所以呢，场上的机器人的判断可能也会出现一些
The judgments of the robots
失误。
might be wrong.
比赛继续进行，
Now the game continues.
场上呢，山海队仍旧是少一名球员作战。刚才受伤下场的队员
Still,
还没有
Team
回
Shanghai
到场
lost
上。
one member
清华火神队
because the
发出不胜球。
backup didn't enter yet. Huoshen
好
team
的，山海
kicked
队
the
的
ball.
队员是回到了场
Shanghai
上，
team
迅速
came back.
站到了门前，因为刚才在
Quickly,
半决赛的时候，
the
他们采
newcomer
取102
stood
的
before the
阵
gate.
型。
As we
目前
said,
3名
they
队员
had
都
a
在禁区
formation
内
of
防守，可以看到
102.
清华火
Shanghai
神队
team
的
is
进攻
defending.
还是非常犀利的。
Huoshen team is quite aggressive
防守，哎，
with such
山海队
intensive
有没有可
defense.
能完成这次反击？
Let's see if Shanghai team can have a counterattack. The ball was quickly kicked, but the defender in front of the gate from Huoshen team blocked
把
it.
球踢出
And now
禁区，
the ball
山海队拿
was
着
in
进
the
球扳平
gate.
了比分。
and Team Shanghai catches up. It's a tie.
明显可以看到决赛的较量，火药味更足了。
Obviously, in the final, it's more competitive. Both teams
而且我们看到
took
火神队目前
the
在
best
排
of
球前
their
的一个阵型
abilities.
也是102的
And also, Hoshen team adopts similar formation, 102 formation. Maybe they learn from each other and adjust their strategy.
虽然说火神可能参考了山海的阵型，但是山海的阵型
Hoshen team follows Shanghai's formation, but there is some difference on the part of Shanghai team. Their formation has changed to 1-1-1. If you just join us, allow me to introduce to you about some highlights of this game. This is the first robot 3v3 AI football match. As you see, all the players are playing independently based on AI decision making with no human interference. They have their own visual senses to find the ball and the players. Another highlight is there is no man to protect them. All of the clashes and the falls must be corrected by the robots themselves.
相关的规则，现在比赛非常的激烈，双方对于球权的
Now we come to a critical
争夺
moment.
的白热化。
The competition is quite
点
fierce.
就是人类
We are quite
足球赛
curious.
打到决赛的时候，体能会有消耗的。
Usually in the
那么
men's
机器人
finals, people are
他们的电
exhausted.
量的消耗对他们的动作有没有影响？
What about the robot's power consumption?
很大的影响，因为它中间可以换电池。
It's a big influence factor. They can change batteries, but continuous games would cause some changes in their temperature.
好的，另外还需要再次为大家介绍这次比赛的规则。3v3的足球赛呢，
This is the
场上
3v3
球员
final.
是3名，另外有1名替补
There
队
are 3
员。每支
players
战
on
队
each
最
team
多只
with
能
one
有4名
backup
球
for
员参
each.
加比赛。
So at the utmost, there are 4
赛的
players
换
in
人次
each
数是不受
team.
限制的。
There is no limit of the changing times of the
这次看
players.
看青蛙火神队将球门带到门前，一脚射门打中了球门的内侧，看看不射得分。
Team Huoshen kicks into the gate, and the result is 2-1. Huoshen team is still in the lead. The spectators are quite excited. It's a very brilliant game. The two teams' performances showed us the best shots of all the robots.
1对1的时候，上海队会有比较大的
那微尘，我想知道是不是可以通过目前的
微尘
场上的形势判断来看，刚刚
Based on the situation right now, a long
是不是
shot
可以通
was
过目
kicked
前场上的形势来看，清华火神队对于山海队的战略
between
战术的
Huoshen team and
了
Shanghai
解更
team.
多。但山海队目前如果想
It
要扳
seems
平
like
甚
the
至反胜
Huoshen
分的
team
话，是
has
不
a
是
good
要在
knowledge
技战
about
术
their
上做出一些改
opponents.
变？
And for Shanghai team, for them to catch up, do they have to change their tactics? Yes, Huoshen team has recognized their opponent's 101 formation, and they hope to capture opportunity during the chaos. So they took a very good chance to have the goals. And I am really curious that under the pressure imposed by Huoshen team, what will be the changes on the part of Shanghai team?
现在山海队有一个
Huoshen
反击的机会，
and Shanghai Huoshen team is still
向前发起进攻，但是
taking the
这一脚
initiative, and Shanghai team is trying
把
to
球踢出了边
counterattack.
线，而且呢
Accidentally, the ball is out of the sideline, and the Liverpool player fell.
迅速的爬起，这就是我们刚
And
才
after the
介绍
fall,
的
the
在场上没有
player
人类的
quickly
安全
stood
员
up.
机器人
As
运动
we
员在
said,
倒
there
地
is
之后
no
完
man
全可以自
protector
主
on the
爬起，
court.
并且
After
继
the
续完
fall,
成
the
比赛。
robots can directly stand up and continue
由于
the
刚才
play.
球出边线，所以是清华火神队来发边线
Huoshen
球。
team now has to kick the sideline ball.
所以上海队从后场大脚解围过来，对他非常有优势。
That's an advantage.
火神队的这一脚边线球是把球权回给了山海队，但是迅速
The ball was kicked to Shanghai team player, and now he recaptured the ball.
一个
and Huosheng team is trying to attack. He kicked with his heel, trying to pass the ball to his member. Right now, the two sides are competing in the midfield. Since the two teams had a same formation with one player defending in front of the game, so mostly they are 2v2 in the midfield playing the game. One Shanghai player charged to the midfield. They had a body contact. Did they do that intentionally? There is no obvious strategy to be observed on the part of Shanghai team. It's quite conducive to Team Shanghai. They're trying to get the ball. Shanghai goalkeeper kicked the ball back to the midfield. During the break, did the robots have to have a change of battery or have some maintenance? I think it was highly likely for the batteries to be changed in order to maintain good performance. Usually, for the games to be completed, it's quite a long time. How long can a battery support? The batteries can run for 2 hours. Wei Chen, after the clash, the robot fell and it couldn't stand up, so it was carried by stretchers, and what will be done to him afterwards? It will be restarted, so the algorithm can be improved or be reset. During the trainings, under what circumstances will the backup player appear? Usually when there is something wrong with the hardware, and there will be some role changes. For example, the defenders might be attackers, and vice versa. Possibly Team Shanghai will have 2 more attackers. Team Shanghai had a very beautiful move, and now they have good opportunities. Good timing. "45 seconds left." There should be a change of player now, but they can't. During the men's 5v5 football match, sometimes the goalkeeper has to join the competition. Now Shanghai team has 2 players left on the court and not much time remains. Let's see if the goalkeeper can join such a competition. Interestingly, the robot players may not be aware about the time. They don't know that the time is limited. You mean they know where they are in the game? They have full attack. We are approaching the end. They're competing for the ball. Huosheng team has a chance to kick. But the goalkeeper blocked the ball.
门柱。目前足球仍旧是在场内，看看上海队能不能够防住这一
Let's
次
see the
火车队的
performance
进
of
攻。
Team Shanghai.
上海队将球踢出边线，而且随着足球队这次出
He
现呢，
kicks
上
the
半
ball
场比赛
out
呢
of
也
the
是形成
bounds.
结束。上半场比赛目前的比分是火神队对上海队
This is the end of the first half, and the result is 2-1.
时间再次回到演播室，那么结束了，可以说上半场的决赛真的是更加的惊
The
心
first
动
half
魄
of the final is more exciting
两场这个可以说是半决赛来讲的话，
compared to the two semi-finals.
可以说这个上海队他
The
的
two teams in the final,
依旧是稳定，
I was quite stable.
是始终如一，贯彻到底。那么
Their strategy remained the same. Instead, our veteran team, Huoshen team, made some changes compared to the first semi-final.
好像的稍微的有些保守了。
Personally, I think it's quite conservative.
你觉得山海队和火神队下半场是否会做出决策？
Do you think that in the second half, the two teams will change their strategies, Professor Zhao?
他们两个是分别采用自己擅长的这个策略，充分发挥
They try to use their more advantageous
上海队
strategy.
这个进球还是非常精彩，是火神队
Team Shanghai was quite excellent.
正好赶到他上来，
Huoshen team was running on the outside.
所以这个很精彩的一个球。但是这个呢，
That was a very excellent performance.
意外的成分也有，所以我觉得两个
There were some surprises.
在下半场调整特别大的改变，因为目前
I don't think they're going to have big changes in the second half.
没有太明显，所以如果上海
And no big difference
非常大的机会，
was there in the result.
应该保持他们现有的状况，增加个人的
I think they would remain unchanged.
最后那个30秒或者1分钟的时候，上海队可以采用一个换人，
Maybe in the last 1 minute,
会更好一点。
Shanghai team can attack more.
火神队一个防守反击，他后面没有防守，
And the Huoshen team will have more counter attacks.
所以这个也很难讲。我觉得这个就是
It's hard to say.
在这个魅力，它带有非常多的
That's the charm of a football match. There are so many uncertainties.
没错，其实现在的比分带入到下半场还有无限的可能。那么这样的可能在队员眼里将会是呈现出怎样的一个态势呢？我们接下来把时间交给我场边的同事康俊驰。
Now, back to my colleague Jun Shi to interview the staff.
央视新闻的网友们，大家好，我是总台记者邝俊驰。那么现在是已经
Hello everyone, I am Huan Junchi. Now we come to the break of the final.
紧张的时刻。
This is the most
是很有幸的请到了
exciting
上海队的
moment.
指导老师
We are lucky to have invited the coach from
你好
Team
您先给
Shanghai.
我们介绍一下。
大家好，
Self
我是
introduction,
中国
please.
农业大学山海队的指导老师胡彪。
I am the coach from Team Shanghai, Hu Biao.
老师您好，就是我注意到一个细节啊，就是当时在
I noticed one detail.
山海队是造成了一个
Just
乌龙
then,
可能在
Team
比赛
Shanghai
开始的时候
almost
啊，但是然后呢
made
虽然
a
没有进球
own
但是被
goal.
也是被火神队抓住了咱们的这个漏洞。
And Team Huoshen took advantage of that loophole to have the first goal. So in the Robo League, why could the
这
robots
个机器人
have
造成乌
the
龙球，
own
我觉得
goal?
比人类造成乌龙球更容易。
I think
为
the
什么呢？因为
robots are
机
more
器人
prone to
它的
have
视野
own
有限，
balls
而且呢，它的智能
because
水
they have
平
limited
跟
vision,
人相比那是
and
差
the
别
level
太
of
远
their
了。有的
intelligence
时候呢，
is
他
still
们
lagging
虽然
behind
反
compared
应
to
过来了
man.
但是他们的脚跟不
Although
上，所以
sometimes
呢，他们想有效的解围的话
they are
呢，
aware
要
their
需要
feet cannot
需要有
follow
时间。
quickly.
那
If
么
they
对
want to
方
get
的话
out
呢，
of
可
the
能在这个时
trouble,
候
it
就正好
takes
就
some
空隙
time, and at
抓
that
住这个机
moment,
会。
your
而且这
opponents
个
might
机器人在
took an
在这个
advantage.
踢球的时候，他的脚法不
And
不
while
特别
they
准，
kick,
然后呢，很多时候容易射偏。
they're
这个
not
时候
very
更容易造成
precise.
这个
Sometimes they kick
误射，然后进
sideways,
乌龙球这种情况。
so the own goals may
咱
happen.
们的第一个进球是一个防守反击的球，就是咱们三
The
个
first
队员
goal
是
was
站成了
about
一排
defense. 3 players stand in a line, and when Team Huoshen was close to the gate, you change the direction of the goal, and you carry the ball all the way to the front of the gate and kicked in. How could the robots change their strategy from defense to attack?
这个
What
首
algorithms
先
are
机器人得
required?
识别好自己的位置
First
在
of
哪，
all, the
它得识别
robots
好自己
must
所在的
recognize
位置，
their
然后呢，识别
positions.
出对方的门在哪，然后在这
And
个
the
过程
gate
中呢
of their，
他们会
opponent
决策
team.
是否应该 大
they would decide if they should kick hard and pass the ball or cooperate with the players. So effective coordination is required. That decision-making is a very complex process. Different robots must communicate with each other to make the decision together. Team Shanghai has many opportunities. While you design the algorithms, did you pivot more towards controlling the ball? Controlling the ball is the basic. There are 3 players. They cannot fight alone. They have to think about the others. The goalkeeper is responsible for the area around the gate. If the ball is not within the scope, he cannot leave the area. For the 2 attackers, between those 2, they cannot fight for the ball. And while one is fighting for the ball, the other should be cooperative. For example, following the ball further. So we are quite demanding in terms of cooperation between the robots. From where I stand, there are so many children shouting, "Fight on, Team Shanghai and Team Hoshen." How do you feel about it? I'm very pleased that we caught the attention of so many kids. I hope that they could fall in love with the robots. That's the significance of this game. I hope that more people could hear about us. I hope more children could have some contact with robots and feel the charm of technologies. We would love to invite the children into such technology activities. Okay, now the second half is on. And thank you for your time. Please come back to your team. Now let's go back to the showroom. Now let's follow the second half of the final. So who will be the winner? There are still many uncertainties. There was some change about our showroom. We just said goodbye to Wei Chen, and now we welcome a new friend, the president of Zhihui Convergence Media, Madam Zhang. Welcome. It's been half a minute for the second half of the final. It was quite competitive. There are still too many uncertainties for the result. The result is still 2-1. Hoshen team is in the lead. If the result remains the same until the end, Team Hoshen will be the champion. Team Shanghai had a big mistake. Hoshen team took advantage, and the result is 3-1. As to the reason of that mistake, could you analyze it? The ball was rolling very slowly. Team Shanghai made a mistake in predicting the ball. They thought that the ball was static, and they thought that they were very close to the ball. Instant changes. A shot from the midfield was made, and one more score was made. So now the result is 3-2. That method taken by Team Shanghai must have been trained many times before. It happened twice already today. I think they must have a specific arrangement about it.
目前呢，比分呢来到了3-2。
3-2 now.
火神队的这一次的进攻能不能够继续改写比分？
Let's look forward to the attack from Huoshen.
又是出现了一次失误，这是一个乌龙球。
Another mistake. It's an
为什么
own
上海队
goal.
会连续出现这样的失误？
Why did Shanghai make such a mistake continuously? I think it's relevant to their strategy. They kicked very hard.
然后造成他长球进球，故意的这样射门，所以这个就是比赛
It was an accident.
采取了更激进策略，但是这个条件不允许。
Aggressive strategy was not
有点像
supported by the
决
conditions.
赛打到这个时刻，比分非常
Usually
接近的时候
for
非常紧接的
men's
紧张的时
football
候
match,
场上
when
的球员难免会
the two results are very close, there might be some mistakes
看到上海队仍旧是选择了一个
on
大
both
胜
teams,
但是呢这一次的
and still very hard kicks by
上海队
Team
迅速地
Shanghai.
来到门前，
And Team Shanghai player came very close to the gate. They eagerly hope to catch up.
你从策略上讲，他打到对方的队员，然后擦到
On the part of
对方身体
strategy,
后在禁区附近，或
when
者
the ball
是直接打
hit
门，这个是个
the player,
比较有
there
效
should
的
be
一个策略。
some compliment. And have another
特别
kick.
想问一下
That's
金
going to
条
be
就
efficient.
是像这样的比赛，我们之所以选择举办，因为其实很多观众在想，哎，为什么要办这样一个？
Many spectators are wondering the reason for holding such a Robo League. What's the significance of it? For robots to walk out from the lab to the factory and to the market, it takes some time for the technology iteration. Today we hold this league so that the technologies can be verified on the stage and for the results to be shown. We hope that the robots can be applied in our lives and in production. We're people-oriented in developing the intelligent technologies. So intelligence for good. The semi-marathon robot game was just wrapped up in E-Town, and again, the Robo League is happening in E-Town. Is that a coincidence? Not really. That shows the charm of E-Town. E-Town is the clustering place for robots. Now we are home to 300 upstream and downstream companies. The value of robots in Beijing exceeded 50 billion, and in E-Town, our valuation took about half of the total in Beijing. Also, E-Town is a clustering place for industrial innovation. Beijing had the first humanoid robot innovation center in E-Town. Meanwhile, we have a full-category demonstration center in E-Town with an area of about 250,000 square meters. And also we have an intelligent market. We promote scenarios applications. We had an opportunity of about 10,000 robots to be applied. In the marathon and boxing games, those are good examples of how robots can empower industries. This football match was not simply taking place. We had a long time of planning. We hope that with this game, we can encourage the production. In the end, the humanoid robot industrial innovation could happen in the city. That's why I say this is a showcase platform for the results. In the second half of this year and next year, there will be similar contests. The result is still 4-2, with Team Huoshen taking the lead. And there are 5 minutes left for the game. So there are still some chances. But will there be a turn of events? And will the score difference be bigger? Let's stay tuned. A clash happened in front of the gate. The robot stood up. The Shanghai player was pressed down by the opponent. Too many robots fell down, so the referee stopped the game. The robot is turning its head. That means with the visual system, it's searching for the ball. When he stood up, the situation changed, so the robot had to re-recognize the situation. He had to find his member player and the ball. The injured robots were carried away by the stretchers and the game continues. Team Shanghai served the ball. It was blocked by Team Huoshen. Let's see if Team Huoshen can take this chance. The Shanghai member came back to the court. Not very hard kick. But the ball is right in front of the gate. Shanghai team kicked, and another goal was made. So the result is 4-2-3. There are less than 4 minutes left, and there is only one score difference. Who will be the champion of the final? That remains unknown. Huoshen team served the ball, not very strong hard, instead it carries the ball and passed to two players. Didn't complete the kick, and now the ball is in front of the Shanghai team's gate again. Very fierce competition for the ball. Huoshen kicked, but failed. Let's see the counterattack of Shanghai team. He was anxious to carry away the ball, and he tripped. Let's see if he can carry the ball to the gate. We can feel strongly the anxiety on the court. Can Shanghai team capture this moment? One Huoshen member just fall. That was usually an extraordinary move by the goalkeeper when a penalty kick happened. He hoped to spread out in order to cover a bigger area. Huoshen team had a change of players. Now Huoshen team has to kick the goal line ball. Shanghai team is defensive. The goalkeeper of Shanghai team is trying to kick the ball out of bounds, but it was blocked. For the Robo League, they are very skilled. Usually they must be adept at avoiding, but now they are not very good at avoiding. They are also required to pass each other. Can they recognize if those they pass by are their member players or the opponents? Yes, they can. And with the wireless network, they can notify each other about their positions. The goalkeeper can recognize the pose, but they cannot tell whether it's the left side or the right side. That's more challenging. I'm truly curious for the teamwork between real men. They communicate, and communication matters. I'm not sure how the robots are communicating with each other right now. They have a wireless network to share information, just like human communication. The pole was very close to the camera, so it's difficult to recognize it. Not much time is left for Team Shanghai to catch up. Could it catch up? Shanghai team made his way out of the two defenders and kicked, but the ball hit the goalkeeper. That goalkeeper from Huoshen team made a big contribution. Shanghai players should step back. They had a clash with the members. He fell and stood up quickly. Another instruction was coming back to his gate. That was the strategy. He had to stay in front of the gate. Now the ball is at the foot of Shanghai player. Shanghai team player had a good defense. Quite brilliant. With time passing by, Shanghai player kicks again, and it was towards the wrong direction. And again, Huoshen goalkeeper spread out his legs to defend the ball. So the kick was not very hard. Shanghai team has to improve. We're coming close to the end. Let's see if the goalkeeper from Team Shanghai will join this competition. He didn't recognize the ball, and the Huoshen player captured that moment to kick in. So it's almost definite. Huoshen team is almost the winner. Let's see if there is some injury time. It's up to the referee. If there is much time left, Shanghai team has to attack aggressively. Shanghai team hopes to have one more goal. Regretfully, this is the end. The whistle is blown, so congratulations to Huoshen team from Tsinghua University. Congratulations for winning the championship of this test event of Robo League. And also good job to Shanghai team. A very wonderful play. Now back to our showroom. Again, congratulations to Team Huoshen. I'm convinced that for all the viewers and spectators, you must feel the same when I say that whoever is the winner doesn't matter that much now. In the end, we're not just winning for the result. Instead, we're trying to compare the decision and the algorithms. We are testing the technology level of different teams. With 3 hours competition from semifinals to the final, we could see the clash of the technologies. And Jimmy, after watching the complete game, E-Town is known for AI robots. What do you feel about this match? I'm very excited. Since April, when the marathon game was held, till now, big technology leaps have been made. In April, during the marathon game, we witnessed the steadiness of the robots' performance, and today we saw how sensitive they are. they are far away from man's interference. We don't need the handles to control the robots. Technologies are evolving, and when we're applying them in different scenarios, that's a big step forward. I'm truly excited about it, and I'm more confident about similar contests in the future. I hope that more robots could have such application scenarios. There will be football matches, basketball matches, and more to come. Exactly. You mentioned about such expectation, but actually it's going to happen in August this year. CMG, together with Beijing Municipal government, will co-organize the first Robo League in August. By that time, different sports games, different teams, and different categories of robots will compete on the same court. What will be the great technology feat? We are uncertain, but we are truly looking forward to it. And today's test event is gonna be a good example. It really bolsters our confidence. In the next 1 month, what do you think will be the changes, Professor Zheng? We still have time. In the mid-July, there will be a World Cup for robots internationally. So it's like 2 training sessions for the robots, prepping them for the August League. We will see football games and more activities to be tested. The robots' technology will be taken to a higher level, catching wide attention from the society. For football matches and sports games, the college students were involved. And that's a good chance for us to train the talents. We are now competing for talents after all. Through those tests and games, we improve AI technologies and train the talents. They were involved in the early stage. We can have a pool of talents that's very conducive to our future development. With the chorus on the venue, we are coming to an end of this test event. From the early this year when we witnessed the semi-marathon game in town to the first robot boxing game not long ago, we witnessed the hardware capabilities of the robots in the marathon game and the complicated movements completed by the robots in the boxing game. And today the first 3v3 Robo League tested the decision-making capabilities of the AI robots with no man intervention. And in August, we will hold the first World Humanoid Robot League. We are truly looking forward to it. Although we call it a day today, it's just the starting point for such historical moments. The gate of technology is already open, so see you next time in August, where we will witness the limitless possibilities of future technologies.